Alright guys, we're going to do a disassembly on the Kershaw Bareknuckle. Got to have a T8 driver, which is what I got here. Oh please, no Kershaw. Oh, this free spin and pivot garbage. Again. Shouldn't be. And it is. Look at this. I mean, this is why I could never get my damn CT470 apart. I had to send it in. Let's try taking off these. Oh, this is going to help any. Wow, these screws are deep. T6 you need for the body screws. These are one-sided. They don't. Except for on this side, they're not. Am I gonna have to take the clip off? Nope. Okay, put the strip there. Love this mat, by the way. It's just a Lyman gun cleaning mat, but it works so well for knife disassembly. Okay, that's just spinning for some reason. My heavens, really? This is not going so smoothly. I mean, I don't understand why that pivot's moving. Look at that. It's a one-sided pivot, but it's... So they either red Loctite the crap out of this, like they tend to do on all their stinking knives. So irritated. I just went through that whole freaking experience with them, with their customer service department. I have to send another knife in. I might lose my mind. We don't use red Loctite. Except for on all of our knives. What the weird? Look at that. So I took the clip off and there's these two little screws. What are those even there for? Maybe when you've swapped the clip over? I don't even freaking know. Okay, we're going to try a little trick with this blade. See if we can't get a little pressure on it. Seriously. And what are the point of those little screws? I mean, maybe they hold on the liner for the subframe lock. That could be it. But I can't get the pivot off because it just sits and spins. And these screws won't even come all the way out. They just sit and spin, and there's the funny thing, there's nothing holding that in. Look at this. Those just screw into the frame here. So why are these not coming out? Like, they screw into the backspacer right there. Try pinching the knife a little bit. But, wait. Might have got that one. Nope, see how it's going back in? It's just spinning. Oh my gosh, what are they thinking when they do this kind of stuff? I don't understand it. Let's try this. This is not the safest way to have to disassemble a knife, but sometimes you can put a little sideward pressure on the blade to get the pivot undone. Sits and spins. This should not happen. Like, it's not a double-sided pivot. Same crap that happened with me on my 470. Can't get the freaking pivot off. And on the 470, you could at least get a little leverage there. There's no leverage to be had. That's smooth. So there's no way that's coming off. I don't... Well, guys, if you have any tips or tricks here, I'd love to hear them because I cannot get that pivot. It just spins. Freaking stupid. What a fail. You can tell I'm a little bit irritated, but after going through that whole ordeal with my 470 because of the damn Loctite. I haven't posted that video yet. Well, maybe I have by the time I've done this. This is obviously not live, so I probably will post that video before I do this video. But awesome. Now I get to send another knife into ZT or Kershaw and have it be there for another 4 frickin' months. Them to tell me that don't use red Loctite, even though there's no reason for this knife to be spinning like this, like unless there's too much Loctite on the pivot. Which is what the problem was with this 470. Then they had to replace the entire pivot assembly. So I'll mess around with it some more, see if I can't get it undone. But if you can't disassemble your knife, to me that is just stupid. All right, guys, I was able to figure it out. So what I had to do to get the pivot not to spin was put a lot of downward pressure on the blade on the mat like this. Push down right here and kind of hold that up, and I was able to get that loose so it stops spinning. But weird, like there's not, I don't see any Loctite on there either. So anyway, there we go. T8. See if I can get these handle screws out, though. I can't get these out either before. And they're not fully unscrewing either. Glad I got that pivot off. That was getting frustrating and just a bad design, honestly, for that to do that. I was looking at my Natrix carbon fiber. It's the cheap one. Didn't have that issue either. So, in fact, I was able to take that knife apart without any problems. And that's just a Chinese-made, you know, $35 knife. Now, this is expensive, but it's more expensive and made in the USA, so it should be better, right? I'm not sure what's up with these handle screws, but let's get that pivot out of there. Maybe we can get this scale off. I just pushed that back in, didn't I? Stop pin. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's kind of a weird way to have to do it, but what the heck? These wouldn't come through that backspacer, so I couldn't get those out. Come on, man. You're better than this, Kershaw. You're better than this. Oh, would you look at that? Never seen this before. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. One of the bearings is missing right there. You see that little empty hole? It's missing a bearing. What? In the actual Kershaw. It's not on the other side. Got all that gunk in there too. Yeah, it needed a good clean. It didn't feel, it felt kind of gritty and crappy, so let's wipe that down pretty good. So yeah, I'm not too impressed with the build quality of this guy. I mean, I guess I've never had that happen on a knife ever. How many knives have I had that have had bearings? Looks like you got to do this other, undo this other screw too. right back here if you want to get the scales all the way off. I'm actually not going to. There's really no reason to. I just realized I'm super, super zoomed in still. So there's your subframe lock, which is cool. I do like that design. Lots of crap all over the inside of this knife though. It's weird because it's usually the little Chinese ones come all gunked up. So there was no Loctite on the pivot, so that's just bizarre. Just a weird pivot design. But you can see how it shouldn't spin, but it spins in here in the aluminum, and it shouldn't. It should move. So maybe the aluminum is milled out a little too large. I don't know. There is a steel race in there for the bearing, just in case you're wondering. So we're going to try to improve the action, because the action has been, it flips well. Like, it has a strong detent, so it flips good, but it doesn't, I mean, I am missing a bearing, so that's interesting. That's affecting the performance of the knife a little bit. I would think that, you know, being made in the US, they wouldn't miss something like that. It's kind of a minor thing, but just kind of irks me. I think they're losing their touch over there in Tualatin, Oregon. I'm not even joking. That's really weird, right? Never seen a bearing like that before. Might have to call them up and get a replacement. Let's see if I can get the knife apart again. Okay, so the stop pin goes in. Good. What? Maybe. Okay, I'll tighten up these handle screws that I never got off because they just sat and spun. So this knife is interesting, guys. It's definitely not difficult. Well, shouldn't be difficult to take apart, but it was kind of a challenge, and it's not like I don't know what I'm doing here. You've seen many disassembly videos on this channel. I've disassembled many times, and I have, yeah, not had the best luck the last couple of ZTs and Kershaws I've had. Plus, I didn't put a lot of lube in there, just a few drops. Kind of wanted to wipe up some of the gunk. That was just kind of just a quick clean. Hoping that pivot doesn't do the same thing again to me, because that was really annoying. Okay. Oh, the frame lock is like stuck. What in the world? That's weird. Centering. Nope. It's doing it again. Look. Just spins. That can't, I don't know, guys, if you have a bare knuckle, does yours do that? That just can't be normal, right? Oh yeah. That's better. It just fires out. The thing I will say about this guy is it flips with authority. Alright, let's put that pocket clip back on. Rip. Yep. I hate when that happens. That can be the problem with these deep carry clips. Sometimes getting the screws in there can be challenging. I try to keep them in there the best I can, so you don't have to mess around with this kind of stuff. There we go. And that should be enough to get us started. I do love this mat though, it keeps everything good. Night. Really. I'm not having a great time with this guy tonight. It's kind of weird. There we go. centering good. Still doesn't like fall shut. It's pretty smooth. It'll actually, once that knife pivot loop gets going too, it'll kind of feels a little gritty though. Probably because one of the bearings is missing. That's probably why. One of those bearings missing. Maybe that is causing a bigger deal. Kind of, it's just totally weird, right? I don't know. I wonder if I have my suspicions that the quality control up there in Oregon is not. Maybe they're trying to produce too many knives. I don't know what's going on, but that's a weird little thing. But at the same time, I don't know. It's never happened before. And then hundreds of knives I've had. So on bearings, I don't know if I've had hundreds on bearings, but I've had a lot of knives. And a lot of knives on bearings. All right. Well, I think we're good. Thanks for watching. See you next time.